All right guys, we are back. Unfortunately, we are having some issues with the Subaru, specifically with the wiring. With the data logs, we are getting a lot of feedback in the logs as far as how smooth the actual data is. It's very jagged, so that tells us that we have some EMI or some kind of interference with our wiring to the ECU. So because we kind of tapped into the factory wiring, I don't know if it's on the Subaru side or if it's on my side, but there's going to be a lot of data that we need to check. So it's going to be time consuming. I do need to dig into this because our logs are useless. Without fixing this, we can't really make proper adjustments to the tune to get the car running where it needs to be. So I'm going to check some things, going to check some DC voltage, going to check some AC voltage. Hopefully that'll kind of pinpoint exactly what's going on. If not, we're probably going to have to replace the entire harness, and instead of patching into the factory stuff, we're going to run our own, basically from the ECU all the way to the bulkhead to the engine. So we'll see how deep we have to go. I guess testing will tell us. We'll see what we can come up with. So now, like I said, I got to back probe all the wires, so I'll give you guys a tour of what we're looking at right now. Got the engine bay pretty much where it was before. I freed up this harness here so I can back probe the wires behind the connector. Inside, I've got the passenger seat out. It gives us full access to the ECU wiring. I've got all the Tessa tape removed so I can go in there. Basically, we're going to check at the connectors on the ECU while everything's plugged in, car on but not running. And then we're going to check the voltages at the bulkhead to see if there's any differences there. That'll help identify where the issue is. But unfortunately, this process can take some time, and depending on where the issue is, it could entail a new harness or hopefully maybe a fix. I'm not quite sure. If I do have to remake the harness, there are some changes that I will make to make it a little bit more efficient and easier to service. So kind of a plus there, but really a setback because we can't really start driving this car until we figure out where the issue is and get that fixed. So sit back, we'll do some testing and see what we can come up with. All right guys, we are back on day 2. First day we went ahead and checked all the voltage drop, DC, on the ECU wires and then at the bulkhead. Today we're going to look for AC voltage on all of our inputs, power and ground at the ECU, so we're not going to go into the engine bay. Car does need to be running this time so we can check to see if there's anything getting introduced into the wiring as we're checking that for the AC alternating current. So I've got basically a work list here of all of our different inputs that we will be checking. So we've got all of our plug A, and then we've got plug B, and then we've got plug C, and then we've got plug D. So I'll be checking all of these for any kind of AC current, alternating current on the wiring. So I've got my piston cup. Take a couple of sips of this, we'll get started, turn the car on, and then check for all the wiring. All right, sorry about that. I guess my camera died while I was checking all the wires, but I got everything ran through, got all the results. If we take a quick look, these are all of our AC voltage. So I've got them all recorded. They don't look out of place. I'm gonna dig a little bit more deeper on here. Nothing looks like really bad. So I guess our next step is probably to start unplugging each connector in the engine bay and find out what makes noise and what doesn't. So that's going to have the engine running, and we'll be having a data log on that. And then I guess the data log will tell us what it looks like. All right guys, we are on day 3. So first day we went ahead and tested DC voltage. Not a lot of voltage drops, so didn't see major issues there. Second day, we checked for AC. Found a few things on like the sensor ground and the ECU grounds that I wasn't a huge fan of. Not sure if that could be the culprit of our issues. Really, some of the factory wiring isn't ran exactly how it should be. Like the coil grounds are ran through the harness and linked to the ECU grounds. Ideally, those should be connected to the block. I have the flex fuel ground ran through the harness and terminated at the block, which is fine, but that could have introduced some noise on that ground because flex fuel sensors are very noisy. So I did ring terminal that to the actual chassis. Didn't solve anything. So honestly, what I think I'm gonna do at this point is just pull everything out, pull all the factory ECU wiring out, run my own bulkhead, get that moved away from the turbo. I've got a nice spot for that I'll show you guys. And I've got a mil-spec connector that I'm gonna use, make that very clean, and basically run all the wiring exactly as I want it. We'll use a lot of the twisted shielded wiring for all of our cam sensors, crank sensors, basically our position sensors that are very essential. And then everything else, we'll run the grounds how they need to be. We'll run the coil grounds to the block. Basically try to minimize the amount of noise, use all TEF cell wiring. I know I already created the actual engine harness itself, but what I really did was start from a bone fresh harness, factory harness, and re-terminated that so it's still got doesn't use TEF cell wiring, so it's a little bit more bulky. So I think our end product is going to be quite a bit nicer. It's going to be a bit more expensive, a lot more time consuming, but I think that's going to help minimize all of our noise and alleviate any additional issues. I haven't decided if I want to wrap everything in the DR25 because that is very expensive. I did that the first time. It's expensive to do it again. Ideally, I want to do that, but the scenario that we're running into now, if we need to make any changes, you really can't. You've basically got to cut up. You might as well start from scratch. So that's what I'm doing this time. I'm going to make my own harness. I don't know if I'll do DR25 or I'll just do expanding sleeve. I haven't decided that yet. So what I'm going to do today is start working on pulling the dash so that way I can identify where the factory wiring is ran. I have a pretty good idea because it goes straight to the bulkhead. I want to pull all of that out so I can use my own bulkhead. But to do that efficiently, gonna pull the dash, gonna relocate it to a different spot in the firewall, get it away from the heat, and we'll go from there. So that's what we'll be working on. All right, so as you can see, I went ahead and started pulling the factory harness back through the firewall, which is that hole right there. That's where the grommet goes. So this here goes all to the ECU, and it kind of ties into the fuse box wiring. So we'll kind of thin this down, run that to the Mtron, and then all these other signal wires. We are probably not going to reuse that hole. We're going to change where that mounts. So I'll show you underneath the engine bay what that looks like. This is what we're working with right now. I went ahead and took the top cowl off, removed the windshield wipers. You can see the hole there. Probably going to make a plug to plug that up. And I'm going to try to run everything through this grommet area here. We're going to put a bulkhead there. Ideally, I want to relocate these wires to the hole next to it if I can. Those wires basically go to the transmission, kind of follow up on the firewall here, clips into these multiple locations. And then obviously you've got the big wire, or a bulk of it, going to the windshield wipers. You've got this one down here that goes to front left wheel speed sensor, I believe it is, or ABS. Then you've got this one here that goes to the brake reservoir for fluid level. And then I think you've got this one here that goes down to the starter. So that initiates the starter. So I'm going to pull all this back through that hole so that way I can kind of reorganize the wiring, change the sheathing on here. May go to DR25 if we can, or expanding loom, at least to try to make that look a little bit better. But I do need to get underneath the car so I can disconnect the connector that's down there. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. Actually, yeah, it's really hard to see, but it's that wire right there that goes to the front ABS. So we'll get that popped off. We'll try to pull this back through into the engine or into the interior, and then we'll go from there. All right, so this is kind of what we're working with now. I've got the factory harness that typically goes to the factory ECU pulled out of the bulkhead, pulled out of the firewall at the bulkhead, so we don't have any of that wiring. All this wiring left is either interior or power / ground from the fuse box. I've got a little bit of CAN bus stuff here, but what I need to do now is basically identify, I've got all these wires labeled, so just need to figure out what we have left. We're going to categorize basically all the pins that we have, and then I'm going to go through the service manual, find out exactly where they go, so that way we can identify if we actually need them or if we can cap them off into a DTM connector and get those tucked away. So just need to find out exactly what we have going on here, see where we need to put each wire. If we can get rid of it, great. Kind of thin the herd on this, and then get ready to basically wire from the ECU to the engine bay using my own bulkhead. So as you can see, I went ahead and 3D printed a TPU grommet cover, so I don't have that hole through the engine bay anymore. We will not be going through there, we'll be going through the center. Let me show you what that looks like. So I've got everything pulled out. That's the TPU grommet that I've got blocked off. And we will be going through this section of the firewall right here. That hole is typically for the rear O2 and transmission, and basically firewall harness to include the windshield wiper motor. So I'm going to relocate these wires to the little hole next to it. So I'm going to print a grommet for that so I can get that sealed off, and that's going to open up this big hole for a mil-spec connector, so that way the wiring can kind of run through the center and away from the main heat source. That way we don't have any issues with temperature or wires melting. All right, so this is what we got so far. I've got these two breakout sections broken out basically per connector on the ECU, so I can sleeve these. This does go to ABS on the passenger side, so I do need to rerun this. I'm actually going to order a new connector and pin set, so that way I can replace this wire with some Tefsal, a little bit higher heat rating, and then basically run that into the engine bay. So that's kind of that connector, and then we've got one more here, which is the bulk of it. It's got some shielded wires in there. Kind of making this a little bit neater. I did terminate these wires. I did run out of DR25 shrink for this, for the size that I need, so that's why it's not loomed or connected, but I do have the pins on there. These are all the wires that are not used, and then I have them labeled, so that way if I ever need to use them for something in the future, we've got them, but we'll have those kind of tied away. You'll see that the M-Tron itself is reverse mounted, so I used to have the connectors facing this way, and because I'm basically running all the wiring myself, I reverse this, and that way I can just have them terminate right into the side. I might put these on some DTs or DTM connectors just so that way I can keep the harness itself nice and clean and unplug from this if needed. That would be ideal, because if I kind of run these wires directly into the ECU, I would have to depin all of these to be able to take out the bulkhead ECU connectors. So that's why I want to put these on a connector, ideally. Yeah, so I've got everything, as you've seen earlier, kind of ripped out. I've got this mount back in place. Some things that we are going to pivot in the engine bay. Let me take you to there and we'll show you what we've got. All right, so for the engine bay, this little boot I am probably going to have to remove or plug, and then actually put the rubber piece back in there. And the reason for that is I'm going to run all of the chassis harness. So basically for the EGTs, this here is the CAN bus and power wire for the electronic power steering. So I'm going to run these. I'm going to run this sensor here, so that way it's easy to manage. Basically all through there. And then also for the O2 sensor, that's going to go through there as well. The heater circuit on this is using 18 gauge, and the mil-spec connector is only 20 gauge. So I am going to run a few wires back through this using the factory grommet, but I am going to basically wrap that up in that high temp insultherm coating, so we shouldn't have any issues. Moving over to the bulkhead. So this is what the bulkhead is going to look like. mil-spec 61 pins. They're all 20 gauge, so the majority of the harness will actually be 22 gauge with a few power wires like to the coil packs. I'm going to run that in 20 gauge. And then you can see I've kind of got this mocked into place. I've got the heat shrink here. I haven't shrunk that yet, just in case. But that's basically the final routing of the wiring. This here goes to the transmission, so that'll kind of plug right in, so that's good. And then over here, I've got all of this wire ran in DR25. We've got the wiper wires here. They are a little bit longer since I did relocate where they were. So I am going to cut this. This is basically, it looks to be a TGV housing. So I believe I have some spare one of these and connectors, so I should be able to cut this and then terminate it so it's routed exactly as it was. This here goes to the brake fluid level, which is good length here. Just got to put the connector back on. This goes to the driver's side ABS sensor. This is on the longer side now. So like I mentioned earlier, I did order some new terminals and connectors. And that way I can re-terminate this wire to the length that I need. But that's kind of what we've got for updates this week. Made a lot of progress. I've made like probably 5 of these grommets themselves, and this still isn't the final one. This one's a little too soft, so I'm gonna bump up the walls on that one for top and bottom, and then we should be good. Something that we are battling with is clearance. You can't see, but basically I want to say we have just enough. I might make this a little bit thicker so that way this can kind of pump out a little bit to give this a little bit more clearance for the wires in the back, but we should be good to go with that. So that's what I've got for this week, guys. Appreciate you joining us again. As always, if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe if you're finding value in the videos that I'm sharing with you. And with that said, we'll catch you next time.